Hello to wherever this goes. We're going to talk about Spidey for a while. Whoa, that was fun. We saw it today, and I think we all enjoyed it at least a little bit. So we'll talk about it now and see how we felt. All right, Zach, what did you think of the movie? What did you think?
Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, definitely.
Holy fucking shit. I didn't watch I avoided trailers and stuff because I love Spider-Man. I wanted to go in fresh, and I knew that I kind of knew that we'd get some of the villains from the previous Spider-Man film series.
Yeah, it was unavoidable. Like just memes, especially, just like the Hello
Yeah.
Peter got me, and I was like, you fuckers! Like I'd spent so long avoiding the trailers for a meme to get me.
Yeah.
But the
So
quick
it'll do it.
overall is that everything about it was amazing. Like the tone of the film, the pacing of the film, the surprises, the surprises in both you're stoked but also you're super sad. Like there was just it kind of had everything for me.
So would you give it a 10 out of 10 immediately? Like,
I don't give anything a 10 out of 10.
oh, so mean.
But it's it's super I can't fault it.
Is
at
it
the
your
moment.
favorite of the three home Spideys?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, Owen, give us a quick summary of your thoughts before we just gab on about it.
If this was like the last Spider-Man, it was a good send-off, like straight up. Yeah, because this is the last movie that they've been contracted with Sony with, so that's why it didn't say Spider-Man will return, because they don't even know.
I mean, I bloody hope so. I want I want three trilogies. I want 3 Spider-Man high school movies, and then I want 3 Spider-Man college movies, and then I need 3 Spider-Man adult movies, all with Tom Holland. I will not accept anything else. I need them, and I need them
pay him a
now.
lot. They would pay him a lot at the night.
Well, I mean, I think he was 19 when he shot Civil War, so he has always been an adult for his Spider-Man money. So like his Marvel money has always been his, and goddamn, he seems nice in interviews. So but he must be disgustingly rich right now.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
unless you take it from Anthony Mackie and their back and forth bands, that is the best stuff. Yeah, but no, it was good.
I know. I was expecting a Falcon sort of cameo just because of their bants off screen.
Did those stuff come out of you? Although it did later on. I almost loved it. It sounds like I like it the least out of all of this. Even though
What?
I say the least, it's still I still frothed it. I
Okay.
loved the heck out of it. But there was a few things that just stopped me from it being like my ultimate Spider-Man movie, and I think a lot of that comes from partly because of Disney, and partly it should have been 2 movies. I think because I wanted more, because it was only 2.5 hours. Like Endgame pretty much had the same amount of main characters, and it had less villains that they had to deal with, and that was 3 hours. Because this one, I think this one was the second or third longest. It was either just shorter than Eternals or just longer than. And I feel like it should have been at least 3 hours, or they should have given me 2 movies. 2 2-hour movies I think would have been amazing.
Nah, that's outside of the contract, mate. It had to be 1 movie.
That's probably it, though, yeah. Which is shitty.
The only thing that I would fault it on is the final fight bit on the
Tom
Statue
Holland
of
only got
Liberty.
his shirt off once, and that's not enough for Zach.
No, it's that was when it felt really just cliche. Okay, this is the final boss battle. We're gonna take them one by it was very formulaic at that point. Which
I think that also comes
it's
from the
hard
Disney.
not to be, but
Also, when a Disney thing, when Toby gets stabbed, there's you'd never see the wound, you never see any blood.
Yeah.
Toby's just kind of
Well, you saw the wounds on Aunt May.
yeah.
I mean, but not.
But you also didn't. Yeah, you also
I
didn't see how she got.
I did pee during Aunt May's death. I didn't miss her dying, but her little great responsibility speech, I did miss. So my wife had to quickly just
As
repeat
in
it to
you
me.
missed it. I thought you meant
Rookie error.
you peed because you were so emotional that you couldn't
Oh
hold your
no!
pee.
Yep, Aunt May died and I weed. No, and I got back. I'm like, oh fuck, are they gonna Uncle Ben her? And then she just dies. I'm like, oh, so that's the first big spoiler. There we go. We're in spoiler territory now. Aunt May gets wrecked. I'll talk about the
Dude,
fact
that was I was not expecting that at all.
She kind of
Same.
Holy
just
shit.
got butt rammed by fucking Gobi though. It wasn't much of a
Yeah.
like okay.
Yeah,
Compare
it was
those two
weird.
things to Spider-Man 1. So Toby getting stabbed in the back by Gobi. It had to happen because that's how he died. He got stabbed, and everyone loved it. I mean, people didn't love it, but that was what happened. So yeah, he was always going to get stabbed. But like when you see it in Raimi's Spider-Man 1, when Gobi gets stabbed, he's like blood's coming out of everywhere already, and then Spider-Man himself has like his whole mask fucked up. He's also bleeding out of everywhere, and there's like
Yeah.
it's a wide shot of just like straight through. Whereas with this, it's like cut to Gobi holding sword, cut to Toby's face, and you hear shink, and then it's like, and everyone's like, oh no, what happened? And then yeah, obviously he got stabbed. And
Yeah. But you know it's painful because Andrew Garfield's like, you're in pain, aren't you? And he's like, yeah.
but the thing, he didn't even die. Like he didn't die. So like, why would Gobi stab him? Like I guess the lower back where there's nothing too important.
I guess that's where he was always stabbed in the original trilogy.
But
I don't know.
It's just very Disney, like the whole like no
Yeah.
blood, and even Aunt May's scene no blood. I mean, I don't think they show blood for Uncle Ben dying.
They showed
But-
blood on the fingers.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's supposed to be a little bit more tasteful. Like I guess they're kind of like they don't want you not listening to his wise words because you're watching blood just squirt out of him.
Uncle Ben's one, at least in the Raimi one, was there blood coming out of his mouth? I don't remember. He just got shot.
Hater.
I guess it proves that there's no Uncle Ben in the MCU.
Oh no, there was. Uncle Ben died. Remember, like in Homecoming,
Yeah,
they mentioned briefly.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like May's been through so
Ah.
much, and it's like what she's been through is him dying. So
But that had, and it did have something to do with Peter, didn't it? They like kind of allude to it.
it's very possible. Yeah, they probably don't like state outright that he went to the library or something. Especially because in this, like, when they're talking about how Uncle Ben died and it was their fault, like he doesn't say "me too," which is a little weird.
Yeah.
Because I guess they could just be going with Uncle Ben died of old age, but I think he needs Uncle Ben because then it's like that's his motivation to start helping people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it kind of makes his character a lot more interesting. And I thought they did it. They just skipped it because like we've seen it twice already within 10
Yeah.
years. We didn't need
That's
it
what
again.
I assumed.
Yeah, but now that May's died, it kind of seemed like no.
Yeah, well, that's the weird thing. Sorry, you're saying like it was like because we've seen it already, but like then how did he get bitten by the spider if there's no Oscorp?
That's true.
Yeah.
I always kind of thought there was
that
an Oscorp
too.
that we'd just never seen, and like
Yeah.
the later movies were going to get Harry. So
I thought
I
that
guess
too when-
Sony didn't let them have it. Sony didn't let them
When
have it.
when Norman says like, "There's someone living in my home," and Oscorp isn't a thing, I was like, "Wait a second,
Yeah,
where did he
'cause-
get bitten by a spider?"
it'll be a fucking Tony Stark laboratory or something. Yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
think of that at all, dude.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, it's not like it's a plot hole or anything missing. It's just kind of like, if you think about
GG
it,
confirm. Hank Pym.
who else?
He's behind it all.
Yeah, because no one else, like apart from Tony Stark, no one's doing that kind of shit in the MCU because we don't have any other bad guys. Which is why I thought they were going to eventually introduce Oscorp as like the main thing.
Yeah, it's like I think what I heard it was going to be like a was it like a reaction to like everything that's occurred in the world, and then they were just like,
yeah,
all
only
right,
like
let's
5
start
years.
Oscorp.
There was a 5 year
Yeah.
gap. Why not make?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
so many people
True.
disappeared. Tony gave up, and everyone was obviously scared. So you could have totally had like Oscorp come in with technology that made everything okay, or even the rebuild. Like after everyone appeared back, someone needed to step in and take charge, and there was no Tony. So like, why not a scientist with a bunch of money? Yeah, like 5 years is a really long time. You could totally get a bunch of shit done by then, especially if you make him buy
Yeah.
Avengers Tower, because then you've got like a tower, like you've got a building in the middle of New York done, ready to go.
Yeah, and especially if you're like something of a scientist yourself as well.
Oh, that was so good. Okay, yeah. Quick
I can't believe
chats
you
on.
said that.
And the power of the sun in my hand. He says it twice. It's like they were just on like Spider-Man shit slinging or like responsibility posting, and they've just seen the meme so many times they couldn't escape it. But as the power of the sun in my hand went, I even leant over to Taylor and like whispered it in her ear as you said it, because it's like, how would I know that line? And it's because she's seen them, but she wouldn't just remember a random line.
Yeah.
But and then when I was like something of a scientist myself, I lost my shit, and everyone in the crowd lost their shit. Like I went to gold class, so it was like a small amount of people, but even then there was like people were like, woo.
Yeah, I went to a VMAX and I just death stared my friend every time someone went, woo, or yeah. I just looked to her. I'm just like,
it only happened.
You want to go to gold class, eh?
Yeah, it only happened like for 2 or 3 big moments, which I'm fine with. Like when something happens, I'm okay with hearing that other people are okay with it. But if it's like loud laughing at everything funny in a Marvel movie, like every time they do a punchline in a Marvel movie, if someone laughs, you die. It's so often.
Yeah, I went to see it by myself, but the whole cinema went nuts when Andrew Garfield rocked up.
Oh,
yeah, same. Andrew Garfield, and then when Tobey Maguire rocked. Oh, actually, no.
They almost fucked me with
Murdock
Tobey.
Came on.
Oh yeah, no, we did. That was the first one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Another spoiler is whatever. Basically, Matt Murdock shows up as Spidey's lawyer, and he does it so well. When someone throws a brick through Spider-Man's window, and he catches it. And he's like, how'd you do? And Spider-Man goes to catch it too, but Daredevil catches it like half a millisecond earlier. And Spidey's just like, how did you do that? And he's like, I'm a really good lawyer. I'm like, fucking hell. That's so good. And everyone's just kind of like, they just cut that scene, but like everyone's just kind of like, the fuck just happened? And then just gone. No, nothing else.
I know, I was kind of annoyed and surprised at how he's literally just in that one scene and then that's it.
Yeah, but that's why the last episode of Hawkeye, it'll be next week, is they introduces Kingpin. Oh,
yeah. Well, that was what was so great last night. They did you recognize Kingpin, Zach? Because Zach hasn't seen Daredevil. Because he is a goof.
Well, I recognize Kingpin because I've seen like all the cartoon Spideys and stuff.
Yeah, big chunky white dude. Vincent D'Onofrio does it so well. Like he is Kingpin. It's amazing. But so
it'll be interesting to see like what they do with Hawkeye, because how do they? Like, it just seems like 2 separate New Yorks at this point.
Yeah, like Spider-Man is literally there, and they do say that it's 2 years after. And if Spidey's, so it should be now. Like it should be in the same timeline as current Spidey. So that is a little confusing to me. Yeah. When's summer holiday? Because do they go to Venice and like is Spider-Man nowhere? Is that set during? No, because that wouldn't be set over Christmas unless Spidey just got back or something. I don't think they can really explain it away.
True.
Like, we need some Zelda Hyrule Historia official timeline.
Well, that's something too. You know the best sandwiches in the world.
Del Mar's is in it.
Episode. Yeah, it was also in Spider-Man. I'm just there like, hey, I know that. There's that bridge.
That's not allowed. You can't do that. You can't play with my heart. I think it needed to be 2 movies. And I think you're right where Disney was like, well, Sony and Disney were like, no, we got 1 movie, let's make it.
Yeah,
because the problem for me was it needed to be longer in certain moments. Like, to be honest, we did not get that much triple Spidey action. Like, I think it's the last...
We didn't get the pointy! Where's the pointy?
Kind of. There was a kind of point.
It was just like a...
Yeah, it's because the way they wanted to introduce him.
At the moment, but it was when Ned's like Peter Parker, and then they're all kind of like,
oh, and they're like,
and it's like it's kind of, but it's not. Yeah, I know.
I do love that I do love how they've set Ned up to be like obviously a genius, but dumb enough that you believe that he would literally be like Peter, and everyone's like, yes, and he's like Peter Parker, and he's like, no, we're all Peter Parker, and he's like, the computer. Like, so that was good. Ned's done really well, and his wig's pretty good too, considering it's a wig.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Like, shockingly good.
In the cinema today,
I think it's not as good as the first movie. I think his wig's at its best in the first movie. How weird is that though? Did he?
Today,
Sorry.
When Ned was doing the portal thing, someone in the cinema yelled out, "He's the next Sorcerer Supreme," and I was just like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, that's what would definitely annoy me. Like, that's heckling at that point. Just call out like "woo" at at a Toby reveal. Oh, I thought they were going to cuck me so hard on Toby, because Toby's running from a distance towards the portal, and I thought they didn't get Toby. They only got Andrew. I'm like, I literally whispered, I'm like, the portal's gonna fucking close. Like, I thought Toby was gonna get, like, Tobey Maguire was gonna be like this far away from the portal, and it was gonna go shoom, and then we'd be like, oh dang it, and it would just be Garfield. I mean, I would have laughed so fucking hard, especially if they like reopened it after that, because that would have been the biggest like got me. But yeah, I definitely thought they were gonna screw me over. And with Andrew Garfield originally, I thought they were going to not show him properly either, because like he had his mask on originally, and I'm like, oh fuck, did they just CGI him? Speaking of CGI, do you think Flint Marko was ever on set? Do you think the lizard was ever on set? I don't think they were, because they were always in their villain form, and then when they became real
when
people,
you see them,
Flint looked a little bit fucky, and he kind of looked through his fingers. Like, I could imagine them rotoscoping him out of Spidey 3 and like doing a lighting change or something, or just CGIing him completely. I don't think they were over there.
I was gonna say, like, I know they can do good stuff with makeup and whatnot, but he definitely doesn't look like he's aged at all. So
that's another
the
thing
that tipped me off.
Yeah, I love that they gave him the shirt as well. Like, that was just icing on the cake.
And Kurt Connors looked exactly the same too. Like, looked like he hadn't aged.
I reckon they could have rotoed him out of another scene, or like deep faked a new guy using old stuff. Because again, he didn't look any older. Whereas obviously Molina, you can't really cover his face, but they go out of the way to smash Defoe's mask, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about the villains in a second. But yeah, I don't think they were ever there. So that's Lizard.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And they were also never in any of the panels. And I think a very easy way to stop the press getting wind of, oh hey, I see Flint Marko going into a Sony Studio 42, Lizard confirmed or whatever. Like, that won't happen if you deepfake him or CGI him completely.
Even though they put the Lizard in all the trailers.
I didn't watch the trailers. Villains.
Mm-hmm.
This is me being mean to a movie I love, but it did feel a little weird, like, because they're cramming in, like, 5 villains, and then they're also not giving them any backstory, really, because they are relying on the fact you've seen the other 5 Spider-Man movies, which, I mean, is probably pretty likely, and it's kind of good that they made it for the fans, but it would have been nice to get more villains, and we probably would have, as in more of the villains we got, and we probably would have got that if it was 2 movies, because then we'd have like enough time to introduce them, rather than having like Alfred Molina rock up for a second and then stay in a cage for a bit. The fight scene was good, very good, but yeah, I think I just wanted more of everything. And
I just find it funny because they're just like, oh, they're going to be sent back to the universe and killed. It's just like, well, the Goblin died by his own glider. Doc Ock died because he sacrificed himself.
I guess it depends where they get dropped back off.
Yeah.
Because, like, also if you send...
Because it's all through time.
If you send Electro back, he's now void of his power. He was talking about that he was mid-fight with Spider-Man, so is he immediately going to get flung off to the side and, like, hit the wall and be like, ugh, and then, I guess Toby... Although, no, because that Toby's from the future. Because that Toby was... No, why do I keep saying Toby? That Andrew Garfield, he was from post Gwen death. I wish he did the
different timelines.
I wish he did the whole. No, I think it's the same timeline, just different time in that line. As in,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, so he's like 5 years in the future or something, to account for the fact that Andrew Garfield looks.
Toby's like old.
Yeah, well.
Whereas Willem
I think they should have put Toby.
I
think they should have put Toby in a muscle suit.
Why?
Because he was in a muscle suit for his original Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. And it made him look bigger, and now that he's a lot older, he is not as thick as he used to be. Like, he definitely looked kind of thin. And
but he's an older Spider-Man, he's got back problems.
I didn't enjoy
First time I've seen Tobey Maguire in a movie in years.
I feel like the last thing I watched him was Great Gatsby or some shit, like 2012, whenever that came out. But he is looking old, but, I mean, Andrew Garfield looks like 6 months older. So I guess that's why they put him in the future, to account for the fact he looks slightly older, because Andrew Garfield doesn't age. Ridiculous.
Yeah. I liked the older Peter Parker. Like, That's like that's the multiverse thing. Is one of the Peter Parkers is like an old one. And
Yeah, I do think this movie was a little bit too close to Into the Spider-Verse.
I guess they wanted to capture that magic. just
Yeah.
imagine, right? They had a whole script written up, and then it got to like the point where everyone's like, "Oh man, if we see like it was Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire," they're just like, let's change that.
Yeah. They immediately got on the phone and they're like, "Hey guys, I did read a thing this afternoon that said they wanted to keep even the villains a secret." And they were like, "Oh, Tom Holland in an interview said that wouldn't have been possible." And like, it's because of you, Tom. It's your fault that wouldn't have been possible to keep a secret.
They so could have done a trailer that's like based around the fighting Doctor Strange.
At least let it be like only
Well, they kind of
like
did.
let it leak, sure. Oh, with him punching him out of his body.
Well,
thing.
it was actually the first trailer didn't have Doc Ock till the end of the trailer. Like that was the only thing that we got, and all we knew was Doc Ock was going to be. Oh, and there was a pumpkin bomb. That was it.
Right. Yeah, we should definitely watch a trailer at some point. But yeah, I think because only people that look into leaks and super fans and shit would have found out about that, and they're also the people that would like go to the movie just to see that. Whereas the general population was probably going to see this movie anyway. Doc Ock rocking up, they probably didn't care.
Well, so that's like I was talking about with the trailers as well. Like, I think Emergency Awesome covered it, where like one of the trailers, like, so they edited out the other two Spider-Mans in the one where they're all jumping at each other. But you notice that like
the opposite,
Jamie
they
Foxx
didn't edit them in.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, the Lizard's going off at one direction. You know, Jamie Foxx is going out another direction. They're just like, where are they going to? And in one trailer, it was in the Philippines. Like, the Lizard gets hit by something. But it was by nothing.
But there's nothing there.
And then there's nothing there. But in the movie, you see Andrew Garfield hits the Lizard, and he crumbles the same way. I was like, oh wow, he fucking called it.
I'm so glad I avoided the trailer. I think everyone's reveals were great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about villain motivations. No, I just don't get what Flint Marko wanted. Like in any point of the film, I was like,
yeah.
What does this
well,
guy
to start with,
why was he a bad guy in the end? I don't get why he was fighting them. And then like, so then he's back and he's like kind of good guy, but he's wary of like.
Doesn't trust him. I was fine with that. Yeah.
But then when it came to the I'm going to save everyone thing, and Electro's like, oh, I don't want to do this like power thingy. Flint's like, no, you should like keep it on, like this is the best thing for everyone. Like I don't get why Willem Dafoe and Electro being like, nah, fuck this, would stop him from still wanting that same thing.
Yeah, because his motivation should be to get back to his daughter, so like he's not really mad at getting, especially because no one told him that he died, because he was from Spider-Man 3, so there was no one else to be like, yeah, Spidey killed you, even though he didn't die. So I guess Toby could have been like, you can go back to your daughter, like I've seen you in the future, and you and your daughter are fine.
He will be cured of his thing, which is why he can't see his daughter.
No one will ever hate you.
So his was like, I was like, I'm super confused. And the other thing, I
liked it when he kind of
run away.
I liked it how he slinked away when everything went to shit. How how Sandman just kind of faded through the window because he didn't want to deal with that. Like I'm okay with that because he didn't want to help, but he didn't like go kill Aunt May. But I do agree that like at the very end, it was kind of just like they decided they want him to fight, which again maybe there was in the 2-movie plan, maybe it existed.
Also, Doc Ock. Why did Doc Ock slink off instead of sticking around to help Peter?
Yeah. Wait, didn't he get electrocuted? He got electrocuted, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But
I was afraid that like when he got electrocuted, I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake!
They're gonna burst the thing. Yeah.
They're gonna burst the chip again. I'm like,
yeah, I thought that too.
We just went through this whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. But he got electrocuted. But then he just
they probably could have disabled him or something.
And then they tried that really stupid thing where it's like, is he actually going to be a bad guy? Oh, no, he's not.
I mean,
that was obvious.
I kind of believed it, and just because my headcanon, I assumed, him getting zapped fried the chip. So I wasn't happy about it, but like I was like, okay, you're the baddie. But when he wasn't the baddie, I'm like, this is good, because he died a hero. Like, a hero. He died stopping his own experiment to make it okay that he almost blew up a city. And then said, the power of the sun and palm of my hands. I'm like, Tony Stark was just smarter than him. /
But if
the
he wasn't a
technology is
bad
just different.
guy, right? if his
I-
so his chip didn't get destroyed in that
Yeah.
zap, why when he came back did he make it appear like he was on
To
Green
get
Goblin's
Audience
side?
to get
When he could have
close.
just when he could have just attacked Green Goblin and
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I guess he needed an opportunity to get close. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
it's like
I-
50% getting close to Electro without him noticing, and the other 50% audience shock value.
Yeah, I did like that Electro got an arc reactor though. That was actually kind of cool.
Oh, that was
That
a
was
very
sick.
that was a
Yeah,
very
that
clever
was
way
really
to
cool.
make him super OP. But also,
Yeah.
Green Goblin was still more. Sorry, the turquoise troll was still more powerful than Electro because he cuts Doc Ock's tentacle off. I'm like, the fuck did you do that with, son?
Yeah,
yeah,
didn't-
Electro should have been the most OP out of all of them.
Yeah, and he kind of was until Gobby rocked up because Gobby's the big bad. Like he is Spider-Man's villain. So it's kind of
we
like
Also,
gotta
they
stop
didn't-
falling
they
into
didn't-
things.
They didn't show this, but like,
I loved that so
did
much.
did Andrew Garfield tell Tom Holland about the web shooters so that Electro's thing doesn't fuck with the web shooters?
No,
Remember he had to go
Tom
through-
Holland has taser webs.
So they'd be like resistant.
So
to-
yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
already
yeah.
built in because if he can do taser webs, I would assume he would need some kind of ability. That's where my head
Yeah,
went.
true.
Again, I'm making this up for them, but
I
like,
love
I'm
that
doing
they
their job
explained
for them. Oh, the organic
Yeah.
webs.
the
Ah,
organic webs. Yeah, I was like,
So good.
okay, quick.
I
And-
love that they addressed that.
And they have the great conversation later on, how they're just like, I'm really curious about your body. And then Tom's like, does it come out of anywhere else or just your wrists? And he's like, come on, man, don't ask that question.
This is
So
this is
good.
what I loved about it is like they could have.
Yeah, I
not done
wanted
those
more of
things, 'cause
that.
Those are just like, but it's amazing that they did it because now we don't have those things to be like, oh, I wish they did this and this and this. Like
Yeah.
they did all the things I wanted them to do, basically.
Yeah, I just wanted more. I think like I wanted more triple Spidey action because it did the
Yeah.
Marvel thing. It turned into a bit of a CGI shitfest at the end, where stuff's just kind of happening and it's kind of hard to see. For instance, how cut to shit was the Tom Holland versus Green Goblin fight?
Yeah,
Like,
there was not.
That was it was
lot.
all mid shots, like cutting around snaps, and I don't really know why. Not sure if it was time or whether like Willem Dafoe's too old to like get into a fist fight.
they'd never
But he-
stunt them, surely.
I would have hoped so.
Yeah.
So that let me down a little bit as well. Like the final fight wasn't as big, especially when you compare it to Raimi Spider-Man and those fights, how Spider-Man's getting the absolute shit kicked out of him. I wanted more of that, but I don't think they'd do it because it's Disney and they need kids to watch this. Like that hurt it a little bit again.
Well, even the
So-
Mark Webb Spideys were pretty intense with the fights.
Yeah, like because their whole thing was more gritty and realistic kind of deal, like
Yeah,
less comic book, I guess.
Mm.
So I still love that his name's Mark Webb. Like every time that would come up at the end of the movie, I'm like,
Perfect.
mwah, chef's kiss. So more about the final fight. It does kind of turn into a CGI shitfest, but we've come to expect that, and it was still good. I still very much enjoyed it. Again, I just wish there was more of it, and I wish it was a bit cleaner. I even said to Taylor when it happened, I'm like, I wish it wasn't at night. Because, I mean, I know a lot of Spidey fights are at night, but still. I think another thing that only having one movie let it down with is, I think a lot of the fun of a Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man facing a villain multiple times and like learning how to defeat him, or in a lot of cases letting him defeat himself and getting absolutely ganked. But with this, there's not enough time, so he kind of he does face Green Goblin. I think he does technically face everybody twice, but he doesn't really learn anything from those encounters, I think is the main thing. Like, he doesn't approach it differently and nothing's really changed. It's just like him versus Doc Ock. Actually, no, he only fights Doc Ock once, and then he fights alongside Doc Ock the second time.
Yeah.
So yeah, he gets one throwdown with Doc Ock. He sees Gobby
Which
for
was
like,
amazing.
and it was a really good fight. Like, that was very, especially the fact that Alfred Molina was angry crazy, and like they disable. He actually thinks it's his Peter Parker, and he's like, "Your new suit won't trick me," and then takes off his hat, and he's like, "You're not Peter Parker, what?" And then like actually beats, still tries to kill him, and it's like that's really fun. Like they did that very well, and having the humor of the fight scene worked really well as well. Like how there was more going on because like that chick was about to fall off the bridge. There was like people around. Like that's some of the best Spidey fights is when he has to do two things at once. Yeah, like it's fun fighting a villain, but if you're fighting a villain while also trying to save a little old lady and you're it works so well for Spider-Man, and it like I think pretty much every other movie does it as well. Like he's Raimi Spidey 1, he's got to save Mary Jane from the bridge and also beat up Gobby, and then Aunt May with
in the bank.
Yeah, Venom with Mary Jane hanging above everyone. And then even in the next one, even in Amazing Spider-Man, you've got Lizard on the bridge and he's saving people. So it's basically the same thing that they did with Ock this time. A bridge with people falling off the bridge in cars. But again, it's really well done. But also, it did. I think it just lacked time probably because it couldn't focus on him saving people. Because in the Mark Webb one, he saves like 15 people off the side of the thing. And there's a whole massive bit where he's got to save a little kid. And like that's really good Spider-Man stuff to me. Whereas this one, it was very much like, we have to make this fight happen and then make this fight end. Because...
Or Tobey Maguire with the train. That's iconic.
Yeah, like, that's such a long scene as well, because he's doing multiple things. Whereas, in this one, they did... It's probably because, again, they crammed 5 villains and 3 Spideys into one movie. But I'm telling you, they can make it 2 movies. Can they, though?
Andrew...
I guess that's the only way they can go... The only way they can go bigger is to make it Sinister Six, and then have it only be like Tom Holland and not get the other ones.
Well, the Sinister Six would feel underwhelming now because it would be.
But there's only one Spidey though.
Like... Oh wait.
Okay, I do need to talk about that. They have forgotten about Matt Gargan, the Scorpion, and Vulture.
Also, it's so weird that they had Donald Glover in the first one, and we have not seen anything
like the
else.
first one
that's a big name.
Because the first one has Donald Glover setting up Miles Morales / the Prowler.
Prowler,
And then you've got Michael Keating, which is Vulture. Then you've got Matt Gargan, which he gets his origin story. All you need to do is give him an Oscorp suit now, and he has a reason to hate Spider-Man. Like, he's ready to go, baby. But they forget about him. He's not in this movie at all. And he's not in any movie except the first one. And it really does feel like they had villains, but then Into the Spider-Verse came out, and they changed everything so that instead of having Spider-Man fight his villains that he's already got, he's now got to fight brand new people that he's never heard of before. Which I think is another thing the villains were missing, the emotional connection to Spider-Man. Because, like, Green Goblin was basically Tobey Maguire's father. Otto Octavius, another father figure, and like close scientist friend.
Kurt Connors is the same for Garfield. Yeah,
you've got like they definitely did that one to a lesser degree, but again, it was the whole like he knew him like for a big portion of that movie before he turned evil, and then Harry Osborn and stuff.
Connors is similar to Octavius, like in that relation where it's like the mentor, like science mentor, so it's like that's Spidey. I mean, every superhero movie, you should know the villain. Like the villain should have an emotional connection to the hero. Whereas the problem with this one was they didn't. Which I mean, they gave him one with Goblin by making Goblin kill Aunt May, which makes Aunt May feel a little bit forced. Like they wanted to kill her just so that they could get Uncle Ben, but also give Spidey a big showdown. Because without it, he doesn't care really. I did think that there wasn't much foreshadowing. I mean, not that there has to be, but there was not much foreshadowing for Aunt May dying. It was just like all of a sudden she was just there and she grabbed the serum and ran.
She gets sideswiped. Like, her actual death isn't really like Goblin slowly killing her or like him dropping her off something. He crashes through a building on his glider, like sideswipes her. She goes flying, and I'm like, oh fuck, she's dead. And then he just like flies off. Like he doesn't like kill her so much as like hit and run almost. Like there's almost no emotion to the kill.
His intention was to not. His intention wasn't to fuck up Peter. It just he just did it like it was
So it's not really an Uncle Ben because it's Spider-Man, Tom Holland. We need names for them, man. I really wish. Do you know how they go by in the movie?
Well,
They go by
Peter
Spider-Man
Parker
1, 2, and
2, and
3.
3.
Yeah, I wish they had. I love that when Andrew Garfield gets relegated to number 3, he's like, fine, whatever.
He's like,
Like,
fine,
fuck,
yeah.
he's like, fuck you guys. I'll be Spider-Man 3, even though he's like the second oldest. But yeah, Andrew Garfield looks fucking great.
Yeah.
Like,
He looks like he's in his late 20s.
yeah, I watched Tick Tick Boom with him recently, and he is amazing in Tick Tick Boom. If you're into musicals and shit.
Can I bring up something about the film?
Go
No,
on.
that's not what we're here for.
So the end of what was the one before Far From Home? The end
Yeah.
of Far From Home.
Oh, also,
is
where's
like
the No Way Home? What No Way Home?
It's No Way Home for everyone else, not for him.
Yeah, everyone else but him.
There was a Way Home. It was a box.
Yeah, there was a Way Home.
It should have been called Spider-Man: A Way Home.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Should I send them home?
Spider-Man. Lots of homes. Oh, sorry.
It's
Sorry, yeah,
Sherlock
go.
Holmes.
Spider-Man Sherlock Holmes. Give me that spin-off.
No, I was gonna say. So the end of Far From Home is like this huge, like, oh my god,
What
Spider-Man's
the
life's
fuck?
fucked up now because
Yeah.
Peter Parker. And they just so quickly like brush that off. They're just like.
Well, I mean, they do wreck his entire
all this
life.
thing. Oh no, you can't that. This isn't gonna hold up in court. You're all G, and then it's like a Simpsons episode where like they do like a little like stinger thing at the start, which just sets up. The episode.
That
That is
It
literally
is,
what
it's the Simpsons
this
movie.
was.
How like the town is like the Green Day thing. How like the town's covered in a little bit of shit. So then they put a dome on it, but then the dome has like so little to do with half the story. Yeah, no, it is very Simpsons episode.
Yeah. Well, like with the multiverse, when was it Stephen Strange was just like, oh, all the people that know who Peter Parker is coming here. I'm thinking, so those 3 Spider-Mans are really shit to keep your secrets because those were the only people that came in because no one else came in. Though for some reason Venom was there. I don't know why Venom was there, but
Oh, that because Venom definitely didn't know that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. But that really confused me in Venom. Let There Be Carnage. Basically, Zach hasn't seen it because it only just came out in Australia. What like 3 months later than America. Thanks Obama. And then basically,
I wasn't allowed to go to the movies until.
Oh yeah, true. You were in full lockdown. Basically, the after credit scene is Venom and Tom Hardy's sitting in a hotel room, and then it's his hotel room. It's kind of shitty and trashed, and then like everything goes white for a second, and then comes back. It's the same hotel room but different. And then on the TV, they're playing the Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and then Venom's like, ugh. And then that made zero sense to anybody, but it now makes sense because he got dragged through. But why the fuck did he get dragged through? It was kind of weird that they used one of the whole after credit scenes just as a trailer for Multiverse of Madness.
Well, even then, like with like the Venom, it's like, I knew that Venom 3 was coming because of because they revealed that the next villain in Venom 2 was going to come.
So Tom Hardy's Venom sees a TV screen that says Peter Parker is.
Yes, because Tom Hardy gets dragged through to our universe.
Yeah, so he gets dragged through and then sees that TV screen.
Yeah, and on the
Venom
TV
2, though.
Yes, the after credit scene.
He's like
Venom
he
2.
knows about like more like he even like talks about like not really, I don't know about the multiverse, but he talks about something about how the symbiotes know about like otherworldly things.
Because they did leave symbiote in our world, which again is a super weird way to bring in a symbiote. Because you can Spider-Man 3, an asteroid crashes and you get a symbiote. That is completely fine. You send J. Jonah Jameson's son up there, he gets it on the hood of his fucking spaceship, like in Spectacular
Tobey
Spidey.
Maguire never met Jameson in the MCU.
Oh yeah, no, that was sad. Which again was
Yeah.
he's never on set with anybody.
Yeah.
Even when he's out the front of the building, he only ever sees them from afar. So was he not on set either? Did we get cucked by COVID?
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Did COVID fuck my once and they're not doing this again. We're not getting another multiverse Spider-Man live action film with all of these guys for at least 15 more years. If ever. I honestly don't think we would.
Not with these actors.
Yeah, did COVID fuck my one chance? Did COVID fuck me again? I would not be surprised if COVID fucked us from getting Toby in the same room as JJ. Because or like even a "there's 3 of you" reaction, or like anything. Because like that's JJ's worst nightmare is multiple Spider-Man. I did like
True. Yeah.
I didn't really get JJ's hatred for Spider-Man in Far From Home. How he's like he killed Mysterio, he's a villain. But I do like. I've always liked the JJ that hates any hero that wears a mask. Like you're not a hero if you're wearing a mask. Like you need to be held accountable, and that's his thing, which I absolutely love. Because like it makes sense for Spider-Man to want to cover his face, but JJ hating him because of that and thinking he's like a burglar wearing a balaclava is good, and that's how this movie ends with JJ.
Yeah, I was going to say that's right at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Once nobody knows who Spidey is, he literally says like, if you're wearing a mask, you're not a hero. I'm like, there's the JJ. Like that gets his motivation back on track for me.
Yeah.
I really don't know what I guess no one knows what they're going to do after this movie. Hopefully, John Watts.
I mean, the fact that it said Doctor Strange will be back, and my friend was like,
"Oh, did it say that?"
Spider-Man.
I thought they just showed the.
Doctor
I thought
Strange.
they just showed.
They showed the trailer, and then it said Doctor Strange will return.
Yeah.
Right,
but they didn't say Spider-Man will return.
Yeah, I did notice that as well. I was like, that's interesting.
It's
Like, are we gonna get?
I knew it was the end of the contract, so yeah, it's really it's in Sony's hands. Like, if we get Spider-Man back, we don't know.
But also, how would they bring Spider-Man back in?
That's the thing.
Like in films that aren't Spider-Man films, because if no one knows who he is anymore, like how does it like
does
Avengers
this affect
or?
people? No, wait, does this affect people off-world though? So
I think
Nick
it's
Fury is off-world.
It's every reality. I think it's everyone
Yeah.
everywhere.
Well, I was going to say an easy way for them to do it was they should have just done, because Doctor Strange is the one casting the spell, he's the only one that will know.
Well, that's kind of
'Cause
what I
then
thought would happen, but then it didn't.
Yeah.
So
Because then Peter Parker still has someone at least that ties him in with everything else.
yeah, I kind of
Like, that would have
love. I
made
kind
so
of love
much
the
sense.
reset. Oh no, are they? Oh wait, no, they can't. Because like, I mean, he's in the world with other heroes. Like, there's no way to avoid the fact there's heroes literally on every street corner at this point. Because I was just thinking, like, I kind of love the way. Oh, they didn't get Mr. Ditkovich. How the movie ends with.
Yeah.
The movie ends with
rent every month, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, missed opportunity.
the movie ends
I
with.
really wanted the chick to come over, Ursula,
just
or
Ursula?
whatever, and
Yeah.
knock on the door and give him like cookies and milk, like that would be the end.
Like, I would have been more than happy with just Ditkovich's voice if they just like rent every month, and like that would have been enough for me, and that's all they had to do. And like Sony probably owns the footage. Sony can probably just fucking chuck that in there. Doesn't
Just get a
matter.
soundbite, good to go.
CGI'd everyone else.
Yeah, like goddamn son, if you can afford everyone else, I'm sure you can chuck $5 Mr. Ditkovich's way. Give him some rent, and fix his damn door, because that would have been amazing. But like, I kind of do like the idea of a reset. Like, it's our Tom Holland with all of his growth, but now he's completely alone in the world, and I kind of dig that.
Yeah, but I was saying before when you went away, like, how do they bring him back in? Like,
I can always hear you.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like if something's going down and a guy swings in and starts kicking the shit out of a bad guy, you'll be like, oh, cool. Like, you'll be like, hey, whoever you are, thanks for helping. Like, that'd be fine.
But I guess the world doesn't forget who Spider-Man is. They just forget that.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah.
But that would be so. But that would be so weird for the Avengers who know.
It was weird enough with Happy.
Now is it just that he's just Spider-Man that's worked with them before, but they never.
Well, same thing with Happy Hogan. When Happy Hogan and when Toby are standing next to their Aunt May's grave, and Happy's like, "How'd you know her?" He's like, "Knew her through Spider-Man." He's like, "Oh, same."
Wait.
So how the fuck does he does he think Spider-Man is just like on the flyers for this feast company? Like, Spider-Man in his spare time just helps the homeless? He totally should. He'd be great.
Well,
at helping the homeless.
Falcon, everyone in Civil War doesn't know who Peter Parker is anyway. They know who Spider-Man is, and anyone who did know who Peter Parker was is dead in Civil War. So
Hawkeye's alive.
But Hawkeye doesn't know that he's Peter Parker.
Ant-Man's alive.
He also doesn't know he's Peter Parker.
Oh, they were on the wrong side, weren't they?
Are you sure?
I think nobody knew.
No one
Are
knew.
you sure? Because no.
Oh wait, no,
in
Endgame.
Endgame,
Yeah.
they're all at the funeral, the Tony Stark's funeral.
So do they? Is their memory just? He's now got a Spidey suit on, so they're all in nice suits, and Spider-Man's there with like a suit on and then Spider-Man hat.
Well, it's never confirmed that they knew his name. They just like, oh,
I
look,
mean,
here's
I'm
some
sure
kid
he
at a
introduced
funeral.
himself. He was probably like, "Hey, I'm Spider-Man. Hey guys."
Wow, we could only assume.
Like,
And you know
we don't know.
that Happy was telling everyone he was fucking Aunt May.
I thought you guys were in love.
That's so funny. Oh.
I do, and then
Yeah,
how they were
that's
like,
interesting.
they were talking about the small plot line of the FBI or CIA or something is interviewing everyone because they're missing Stark tech, and then Parker goes into the laundry room, and then there's just like Stark tech, and he's like, "God damn it, Happy! Like he's the one that stole it," but he's obviously never turned it on because it cracks through the wall later on. So like, why did Happy have it? Which is maybe he got it for Spider-Man, but I don't know.
Well, Tony probably told him to. Oh no, yeah, because it's I don't know.
Tony died pretty unexpectedly. I don't think Tony got too many words out, to be honest. Is my audio with my lips out, by the way? Just real quick. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, cool. Just because I'm seeing myself, so that's weird. But yeah, continue. Again, okay, yeah, let's talk about Venom for a bit. So I know that he came through because they wanted to put Venom in the world, / that Sony probably said, hey, we need we'll only do this if you put Venom in this movie so that we can hype up for Venom 3. And he leaves a symbiote behind. But again, there's so much better ways to bring a symbiote into the universe that are easier, and you can have Peter is at MIT, and then MIT has to help with the space program or some shit. Like, there's so many things you could do. But the reason everyone came through is because they knew Spidey was Peter Parker. But like you were saying, like, are they just going with magical symbiotes know things? Because at the end of Venom 2, he does say something. He's like...
Yeah, that's right. He says, like, something about multiple
he's like,
possibilities and stuff.
Yeah, he just said him, I know him, or something like that. Like,
yeah.
But again,
But
why?
how would you know him?
Magical Venom stuff, that's what we're saying. Like, it doesn't actually make any sense.
Maybe symbiotes can hop between multiverses. So the Venom in
all of a sudden, just cause.
Well, Tom Hardy's Venom is the same as the symbiote Venom in Tobey Maguire's universe. And
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Why didn't they just do that? Because Venom knew, because of Eddie Brock, he knew Spider-Man was Peter Parker. So...
But is Venom still... Where is Venom in Tobey Maguire? What happened to Venom in Tobey Maguire's?
Oh, so are they saying all of... So, again, this is us filling it in. If they wanted Venom in the universe, they could have brought Topher Grace's Venom through. And again, not use Topher Grace, just use, like, CGI, and you'd have...
Yeah,
true, because they can bring them from any time in that time.
Like, have him reaching through the portal to, like, come, and then Strange closes it all, and his finger gets cut off, and then you end up with symbiote in the world, and it lands on Peter's shirt or something. And then you get a bit of a, but instead it's in some bar in New Mexico. I mean, again, headcanon, which I don't think we should have to do, Owen, but I maybe you are right that Tom Hardy Venom is linked to Topher Grace Venom, so, like, not directly so much that he knew exactly who Spider-Man was, but he's linked with Topher Grace's Venom enough that when he sees a picture of Spider-Man, even though it's a different Spider-Man, he sees, like, the Spider-Man costume, he's like, I hate him for some reason, and that's why he got dragged through the portal. But again, why Tom Hardy and not Topher? All you needed, like, I reckon that would have been great if, like, Topher was reaching through the portal and then you lose Venom's finger and then it lands on Spidey's shoulder or something. Or, like, on Doctor Strange's shoulder. Give me Multiverse of Madness with fucking Null. It feel more interesting, I guess, because we don't know where it's going, and not in the way that...
Holland sewed his own suit in the end of this one.
Did. That's right, he did.
It's like a new suit, but it looks more like
it's all shiny.
Suit.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the very, very end. Yes, love that. It was perfect classic, like, comic book accurate Spidey suit, and all shiny as well, so that'll be super fun and super interesting. And hell, Disney can sell a toy. It's a win-win.
Yeah,
Mate,
true.
give me a new Spidey suit every movie. I'm okay with it. Give me multiple Spidey suits every movie. In like the TV shows and stuff, he's like, oh, better fight Shocker. Better put on my Shocker-proof fucking suit. Oh, I've got to fight Electro. Better put on my Electro suit.
Yeah.
I will not rest until Disney release a Grogu in a spider suit.
It probably.
Don't give him ideas. It's gonna happen.
Oh, and Google it. It probably already exists.
No, I
Spider
refuse.
Grogu.
I refuse.
Spider Yoda. Toby tells us that he stopped pulling his punches and started damaging people. Fuck you. Show me that.
Yeah.
Show me. Give Toby Maguire. Fuck me. I keep saying Toby Maguire. Give Andrew Garfield a beard and let him beat, or like heavy stubble, and let him beat the shit out of bad guys and let me watch. Make him go full Spider-Man noir. Make him wear a fucking black suit and just kick the absolute shit out of people. I want it. Instead of, I went a bit dark there for a while. Cool, moving on. Anyway, I'm better now, I guess.
It was sick seeing Tom Holland beat the fucking shit out of Willem Dafoe. That was just
But they cut it to shit.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go see it again. And I'm sure it'll be on the internet at some point.
Next week. Yeah.
So, pay attention.
Sure.
Maybe I just wasn't, I don't know, it felt like it was cut to shit, but let me know if it is better. And also, it's kind of weird, like, it's also kind of weird CGI, because the fight was at nighttime, and nighttime only lasts for about 15 minutes in movie time. So, it was like sunrise, and they were on a big reflective, like, brass shield, like, that had fallen into the water. It didn't look amazing. It wasn't a riveting end. Like, again, I'm gonna refer to the old Spideys. I mean, even Tom Holland's other Spider-Man. When he's fighting Vulture, he's on a fucking like aeroplane for the second half. He's in a cool dungeon like warehouse for the first half that gets crumbled all over him. In his second one, he's in this nice bridge thing with Mysterio. So it's like there's nothing there, but then there's illusions there, and that's the cool bit there. And then you go, Raimi Spidey 1, you're in an abandoned place. It is at night, but it's all practical, so your eyes don't hurt when you try to look at shit. Like, so yeah, you're not losing things in the darkness. Number 2, it's another cool abandoned warehouse that's sinking. It's sinking. And then 3, you get a giant construction building, and in this one you get a flat surface. A slightly domed surface that is shiny. And they're just standing on it. Like, there's just... It could have been better, I think. And I don't know whether COVID cut it.
Man, it was made in Melbourne. They did their best, okay?
Maybe they cut it to shit because Dafoe was... Do we ever see Dafoe close to Holland? Were they ever in the same room together? Did COVID fuck me? Is that why they cut it to shit?
Dafoe with Holland. What do you mean? They were. He was beating the shit out of him. Like,
was he? Yeah. It was all close-ups and... It was close up on a full CGI background.
True.
Yeah, I need a breakdown, man. I need a breakdown.
Yeah,
I don't know if you see them next to each other.
I need a copy of this movie, and I need to find out how much COVID fucked me.
Oh yeah, the scene that they're in the soup kitchen thing.
Okay, well, I mean when they're fighting, any fight scene. No, like I definitely when he's with Aunt May in the soup kitchen, and when he's in Happy's apartment doing science. I think they're definitely together there, but the fight scene, like, Gobby rocks up pretty late to that fight in general. I don't know. It's risky. Also, quick tangent.
Also, that was convenient that they all rocked up to the fight in different times.
Yeah, like one by one. I mean, I guess it makes more sense than them all rocking up at the same time.
Yeah.
But, Spider-Man banter, amazing, absolutely incredible. Costumes. Everyone's costumes were on point. I don't think... maybe because it was always dark when we saw Toby, but I feel like maybe he wasn't as ribbed for her pleasure as he was in his movie, but it's hard to tell. And then, again, because of lighting, Andrew Garfield didn't look like he was as basketball-y texture as he was in his second film.
His suit did look different, actually.
I guess they could, but they're also both older variants, so maybe they just changed their suits. They just didn't look as unique as I kind of know them to be.
I didn't get some good close-ups of them.
They didn't look as unique as I know their suits to be. So, like, I don't know whether they didn't bother changing material, so they just made them look.
When Garfield first comes through the portal, I was like, I knew it was Garfield, but at the same time, that Looks
I
different.
honestly thought they were going to close the portal. I thought they were going to fuck me. Except, like, both times. It's insane. I'm so glad they didn't.
How good was the
Sorry,
the
costumes.
fight in the weird dimension thing, and then
Oh, mirror
Oh, the
dimension.
mirror
Yeah,
dimension.
that was again very well
Yeah.
done. And that's enough
Tom
trailer.
Holland's like, you know what's better than magic? Math.
I love how shit it is. Like there's not many characters that you can make say a really shitty line and it
Yeah,
is
I
so
know.
perfect for them.
That's
Amazing.
always been Spider-Man, though.
Yeah. And I love that it makes sense that it would be geometry because it's a mirror dimension. So mirrors can only refract things certain
Yeah.
ways. So it worked for me. But then he Fibonacci spirals him and then like BDSMs him for like 12 hours. And the joke, how he's like, you left me hanging above the Grand Canyon for 12 hours. And then Toby and Garfield were like, wait, you were just at the Grand Canyon? We could have really used your help. And it's like, because they didn't realize it was a mirror dimension.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, that's so good.
Mm.
I'm still not happy with the Amazing Spider-Man lizard, because it doesn't look like a lizard. Like, lizards have snouts, to like at least some degree. Whereas
yeah.
he looks like a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, true.
But, I mean, Electro was good. When Electro did certain moves, he got the star mask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved that. Like when he
Like that
first rocks up at that final fight, he's got the star mask.
And like as he appears, I was like, ooh! And as soon as the movie started, they made his lightning yellow instead of the blue.
Yeah, true.
And that way
true.
they didn't
Yeah.
have to make him blue, because like Electro's always had the yellow lightning. 'Cause
Yellow, yeah.
it looks cooler, I guess. I think it does stand out more. I get why they did it for the Mark Webb Spideys, because it did look cool in those. Him being blue wasn't cool, but his lightning being blue was fine. But then he
Yeah.
immediately says like, "Oh, the power's different here." So I was like, "Hey, they
Yeah.
even explain like him having yellow lightning doesn't need an explanation, but they did," and I'm like, that works really well. Like, I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's just a little additive. So yeah, everyone's costuming was like absolutely perfect. Tom Holland wearing his costume inside out for one time so that we can get another Spidey suit. I was like, love it, delicious.
Was it the black one?
Yeah, his
The
black
black-
and his
yeah.
the black and gold one when he's first fighting
Yeah.
Electro. Yeah, it's because like there's just
Yeah.
shitty cabling,
Well,
which-
that's the thing.
which must be
in the
incredibly
trailer,
uncomfortable.
in the trailer, it was
it
looking
looked like
like
it, yeah.
It looked like there was gonna be Dark Spidey or something, or people were like, "Oh, an evil Spider-Man."
Yeah, like
But,
it gave
yeah.
him a bunch of trailer bait, so it was a good idea because like
Yeah.
it gave me 1.5 scenes with a new Spidey suit, and again, fucking love Spidey suits. Give me all of them. Like that's half the fun of
Cosplay.
every Spider-Man game ever is just like picking a goddamn Spidey suit because there's so many.
Side piece though, when at the end when they were, was it Ned and MJ were together? Did anyone think that they were like in a relationship and that would have just
I
shattered
definitely thought they were gonna make
Parker?
out. I thought
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna kiss.
Oh no!
But instead, they're just friends, which I don't know if that makes sense without them knowing who Peter Parker is.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
because Peter and him were friends
Yeah.
for ages, and that's why they're friends.
Mm.
I mean, that becomes too hard to explain, I guess, in the ending
Yeah.
of a movie. So it's easier if you did make them like kiss, though. That would have been the fucking funniest thing. Like, I think people in your cinema, especially Owen, would have been like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god!"
We're like,
like-
yeah.
Like, you can cut to the fucking ex-girlfriend from Friends. Oh my god. You could do that.
Oh, yeah.
It would be allowed. Instagram, I was scrolling through, and there was, today, there was immediately a picture
Yep.
of all three Spideys. So I would have been like, fuck. Because
Instagram would have fucked it for me.
Because
too.
originally, yes, they said all the Spideys were in it, and they were like, confirmed, Spideys are in it. But then that was so long ago that everyone was kind of like, shit, maybe they're not in it. So yeah, I was definitely surprised at Toby and Garfield rocking up.
Same, yeah. Yeah.
I
So they
was
got me that,
because
so that
of-
was good.
I was because of the premiere photos were just like
Yeah.
Tom Holland's in there, like it was like the people we knew.
Maybe they got
Ah.
snuck in the back.
That's what I was thinking. They're probably there, but not.
They walk in, tear off their mask. Oh, what if they got to go in as like, there was like a group of people dressed up as Spider-Man, and they were just two of them? So they all walked in, and like, it was like how many bees are there walking in the background kind of deal?
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
yeah, so see Spider-Man. It was amazing, but it still had its problems, and Disney and Sony are the main reasons. Also a little bit COVID, probably. Cool. Like, comment, and subscribe. Oh my god, he's fading away. He's fading away into the multiverse. Fucking hell.